Barbara Stanwyck, born Ruby Catherine Stevens on July 16, 1907, in Brooklyn, New York, grew up far removed from the glamour she would later represent. Her childhood was defined by loss and instability, beginning with her mother's death when Barbara was just 4 years old, followed by her father's departure soon after. Raised between foster homes and under the care of her older sister, she learned early how to rely on herself. These formative years instilled in her a fierce independence and emotional resilience that never left her. Poverty was a constant companion, but so was determination. Rather than breaking her spirit, hardship sharpened it. She developed a strong sense of discipline, self-control, and empathy for others who struggled. Those early experiences would later shape both her acting style and her reputation in Hollywood as someone who worked relentlessly, respected the craft, and demanded integrity from herself and from everyone around her. From vaudeville stages to Hollywood breakthrough, Stanwyck's path into entertainment began not with privilege but persistence. As a teenager, she worked as a dancer in nightclubs and vaudeville shows, eventually earning a coveted place in the Ziegfeld Follies during the 1920s. These early performances taught her timing, physical control, and how to hold an audience's attention. Her transition into film came with the silent movie Broadway Nights in 1927, but true recognition arrived in 1930 with Ladies of Leisure, directed by Frank Capra. Her performance stood out for its emotional realism at a time when acting was often theatrical and exaggerated. Critics immediately noticed her natural presence and authenticity. This role launched her into stardom and began a productive collaboration with Capra. From that point forward, Stanwyck became known as an actress who didn't perform emotions. She lived them on screen, setting herself apart in a rapidly evolving industry. A career defined by strength and range, over more than 3 decades, Barbara Stanwyck appeared in over 80 films, building one of the most respected careers of Hollywood's golden age. She excelled across genres, portraying women who were intelligent, layered, and emotionally complex. In Stella Dallas, 1937, she delivered a heartbreaking performance that earned her an Academy Award nomination. She revealed sharp comedic instincts in Ball of Fire, 1941, and The Lady Eve, 1941, while Double Indemnity, 1944, cemented her status as one of cinema's most unforgettable film noir figures. Her portrayal of Phyllis Dietrichson remains iconic for its subtlety and power. Despite never winning a competitive Oscar, Stanwyck's influence was undeniable. In 1982, she received an honorary Academy Award recognizing her lasting contribution to screen acting, a gesture that acknowledged what audiences and critics had long known. Marriage, motherhood, and personal struggles. Behind the camera, Stanwyck's personal life was far more complicated. In 1928, she married actor Frank Fay, a relationship that began with promise but gradually deteriorated under professional pressures and personal differences. As her career flourished, Fay's declined, creating emotional strain. In hopes of building stability, they adopted a young boy, Anthony Dion Fay, in 1932. Stanwyck embraced motherhood wholeheartedly, but the marriage continued to unravel. After years of tension, the couple divorced in 1935, with Stanwyck retaining custody. Balancing single parenthood with an intense film schedule proved challenging. As Anthony grew older, emotional distance developed between them, and their relationship became strained in adulthood. This estrangement remained one of the most painful aspects of Stanwyck's life, revealing that even someone so strong and accomplished carried private heartbreak beyond the public eye. A high-profile love and a respectful goodbye. Several years later, Stanwyck found companionship again with actor Robert Taylor, one of MGM's most popular leading men. Their romance captured public attention, and they married in 1939. Unlike her first marriage, this union was marked by mutual respect and genuine affection. Stanwyck admired Taylor's charm and professionalism, while he respected her intelligence and strength. However, demanding schedules and time apart gradually weakened their connection. Over time, emotional closeness gave way to quiet distance, In 1951, they divorced discreetly, without scandal or public bitterness. Stanwyck later spoke of the marriage with warmth, describing those years as meaningful despite their ending. The respectful nature of their separation reflected her character, private, dignified, and unwilling to exploit personal pain for attention. It also reinforced her reputation as someone who handled both success and disappointment with remarkable composure. Euskal began transitioning to television with authority. As Hollywood roles for mature women became fewer, Stanwyck adapted rather than retreated. In the mid-1960s, she made a successful transition to television, starring as Victoria Barkley in the Western series The Big Valley. At a time when many film stars resisted television, Stanwyck embraced it with seriousness and commitment. She treated the role with the same intensity she brought to her film work, portraying Barkley as a commanding yet compassionate matriarch. Her performance earned critical acclaim and an Emmy Award, introducing her to a new generation of viewers. Stanwyck expected professionalism from her cast and crew, believing television deserved the same standards as film. Her leadership on set became legendary, reinforcing her image as both a mentor and a disciplinarian. She proved that adaptability, when paired with integrity, could extend a career rather than diminish it. Discreetly the professional tensions in differing generations. During The Big Valley, Stanwyck experienced professional tension with a younger co-star, reflecting broader generational differences within the industry. Known for her disciplined work ethic, she sometimes struggled with what she perceived as a more relaxed approach from newer actors. These differences led to a strained working relationship, though she remained committed to maintaining the show's quality. Stanwyck valued preparation, punctuality, and emotional depth, standards shaped by decades of hard-earned experience. While she was generous toward many younger performers, she was unapologetic about her expectations. These moments of conflict were not rooted in personal malice, but in deeply held beliefs about craft and responsibility. Her reactions reflected her fear that dedication was being replaced by image. In this sense, the tension symbolized a changing Hollywood, one Stanwyck respected but did not always understand. Later years, quiet generosity and resilience. In her later years, Stanwyck gradually stepped away from acting but remained active in philanthropy and mentorship. She supported children's charities, medical research, and organizations serving industry veterans, often without public recognition. She valued privacy and gave quietly, reflecting her belief that generosity did not require applause. In 1981, she endured a frightening home invasion that tested her resilience once again. Though shaken, she refused to let fear dictate her life. Around the same time, health challenges emerged, partly due to decades of smoking and respiratory complications during filming. Even as her health declined, she remained stoic and dignified, rarely complaining. Friends recalled her strength, wit, and loyalty during these years. She continued attending cultural events and maintaining close friendships, proving that her spirit remained as unyielding as it had been since childhood. Dushti ang a final farewell, worthy of a legend. Barbara Stanwyck passed away on January 20th, 1990, at the age of 82, following complications from heart and lung disease. True to her lifelong preference for privacy, she requested no public funeral or memorial service. Her wishes were honored, she was cremated, and her ashes were scattered over Lone Pine, California, a landscape closely tied to her Western films and later career. The gesture was deeply symbolic, connecting her final resting place to the rugged terrain she so often brought to life on screen. Stanwyck left behind a legacy defined not only by awards and performances, but by resilience, discipline, and authenticity. She remains remembered as a woman who earned everything she achieved, who refused to compromise her values, and who shaped Hollywood not through scandal, but through strength, talent, and unwavering self-respect.